On today's JMO, Josh and Joe, we have the draft recap. Probably one of the craziest drafts that Joe and I have ever seen.
Crazy.
We tell you our winners and losers, also with our favorite drafts, and we kind of recap the Saints draft a little bit, just because that's our team. Mm-hmm. We have on this day in sports history. Have a couple of those, and then we talk about the NBA playoff. We have a first round recap, and then we have our second round predictions. Then we talk a little bit of the Derby. Pretty much whatever the only thing we look at are the names. So it's kind of funny.
Yeehaw!
All right,
let's rock and roll.
Welcome to JMO, Josh and Joe. It is Tuesday, May 2nd.
It's gonna be May.
Yes, it is. And Joe, we had probably one of the craziest NFL drafts I think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it had the all-time smoke show of all time. Like, it was just the best smoke show I've ever seen by the Indianapolis Colts. Everyone and their grandmother, including Will Levis's girlfriend, thought that Will Levis was going to the Colts at number 4.
Yeah. Well, Will Levis came out before with that exact quote, was like, I'm only going to go if, like, I know that I'm going to be, like, a top pick or in the first round. And because he's like, I don't want the cameras to be on me, like, the entire time. And that's exactly how it played out.
It was so awkward.
Yes, so awkward.
Dude, it was just like his girlfriend was just like, you could tell with every single pick that he wasn't drafted, it was just getting closer and closer to doomsday breakup day for Will Levis.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not dumped.
No, yeah, I'm definitely surprised too. It got to a point whenever after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had drafted, I looked at the rest of the people or the teams drafting, and I was like, none of these teams need a quarterback. And unless somebody actually drafts back into or trades back into the first round, like I knew Will wasn't going to be after the Tampa Bay pick. I knew he wasn't going to be drafted in the first round.
Well, yeah, and nobody really needed to trade up. Like, there was no they weren't going to trade up because nobody wanted a quarterback. I mean, now granted, if maybe somebody outside, like, who needed a quarterback that didn't have another pick until late in the second round traded up, but I feel like for most of the people, if they were going to get Will Levis, it was going to be in the first half of the first round. Mm-hmm. Like, once he dropped, it's just like, oh fuck, the greatest smokescreen.
Plus, it's like when those players drops, I feel like teams have like almost a panic on them. It's like there's a panic button. It's like, okay, hey, something's wrong with this player. Like, these people passed on him. Like, I'm going to pass on him.
Yeah. I think the Colts setting that smokescreen was the biggest thing. They were like, obviously, Will Levis, they saw something they didn't like in Will Levis. Everybody thought that was the typical Indianapolis Colts pick, and then they ended up going with Anthony Richardson, which, in my opinion, was the dumbest thing they could have done. He's a project quarterback, and I think they'll need somebody well before he's done. Like, with his, like, getting ready. I don't think everybody thinks he's Cam Newton. He's not Cam Newton. He's not going to play very well. Cam Newton dominated the SEC with a shit fucking Auburn team and a shit fucking Auburn head coach. Anthony Richardson didn't do shit with Florida. He had a mediocre season at best.
It's funny that you bring up that comparison. I actually brought out all the numbers because I wanted to see, like basically, Cam Newton came onto the scene, dominated in his year that he was the starter, 14-0. Anthony Richardson, I mean, what is it? He started that one full year, but he also he was like back and forth within the lineup the first year, so he never even like got a full grasp of the offense, like, or of a college team, and like when he did, it wasn't that great. So his stats. Anthony Richardson's was 176 of 326. That's a 53% completion percentage. 2,549 yards, 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Not a great interception-touchdown ratio. As far as rushing goes, because that's what he's being hailed as far as his running ability and everything, and being so athletic, 654 yards, 9 touchdowns, and then he finished off with a record of 6-7. On the other hand, Cam Newton, 185 to 280. He threw less passes. Well, it was 66%.
Yes.
2,854 yards, so just a little bit more passing yards. 30 touchdowns, 30 passing touchdowns.
Yep.
Again, that's 30 touchdowns,
30.
almost double, and 7 interceptions. Rushing yards, he had 1,400 yards, over 1,400 yards, 20 touchdowns rushing. Like, that's domination right there.
Dominating.
Yeah, and then a record of 14-0 with a national championship. Like, you can't make these comparisons on Cam Newton and Anthony Richardson. They're two different players.
They're also, you got to look at the coach. Who was it? It was Gene Chizik at Auburn.
Yeah, it was Gene Chizik
Yeah.
because it was before the Gus bust.
Yeah. No, nobody head coach. And Florida has what? Will Muschamp?
No.
Who's their?
Will Muschamp's gone.
Yeah.
No, it's Billy Napier.
Billy Napier, a good coach. So yeah, there's not even a comparison. This is such bullshit that he's even in the same category or in the same conversation as Cam Newton. This is a bad mistake for Indianapolis, and it'll show. I can't wait to say I was right about this, because this is one of those that I'm really looking forward to.
I guess the only silver lining to this that people are trying to hang their hat on is what he was able to do with the head coach at Indianapolis, what he was able to do as the offensive coordinator with Jalen Hurts. But that, again, is a whole other discussion as far as comparing AR to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, okay, agreed. And people just had hard eyes for his combine. Which, good for him. He's going to get paid a lot of money just because he's a freak athlete and did well in the combine. So it's it's actually kind of a good thing in the sense that it'll bring more attention to the combine, because that's what we love the combine. So more people are going to want to show out in the combine, and we'll get more records broken. I love watching the 40-yard dashes. I love doing it's so much fun. So it actually might be a good thing.
Yeah.
Bad for the Indianapolis Colts. Let's see. We'll do our winners and losers of the draft. I do want to talk about. I want to touch on the first couple of picks. Because this was a wild move. This is a new era in Houston Texans. In the Houston Texans franchise, DeMeco Ryans basically flopped out his giant wiener and told the coaches, this is what we're gonna do. Told the coaches and GMs, this is what we're gonna do. I want C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. Make it fucking happen.
Yeah.
And it was glorious. It was glorious. Nobody saw that coming. When they drafted C.J. Stroud, I was like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Cardinals, I don't know why they didn't want Will Anderson. They didn't want the third pick. I know it wasn't like a position of incredible need, but Will he's an incredible talent.
Arizona was playing the long game, and I guess that's what you're able to do when you have like a new coach and a new GM. You can play the long game because you're like,
it's always an excuse.
Yeah, well, your head coach isn't frantic about his job, and your GM isn't frantic about his job, so they want to try to do the long game build. And since they didn't have to get a franchise quarterback, since they already have somebody that they're going to try to build around already in Kyler Murray, they kind of have that luxury,
Mm-hmm.
So I applaud them. I applaud them for moving back and trying to plan for the future. They got a hell of a haul from the Texans.
Yeah, they did. I do, but I just love how DeMeco Ryans is just revamping this whole organization, making them legit, or at least trying to.
Well, let's put it this way: he's trying to start things off on the right foot, like as far as bringing the players that he wants in.
It's exciting. I'm fucking pumped. I have never. No one since the Houston Texans have basically gotten into the league have been excited for the Houston Texans, except for maybe a couple of diehard Houston fans. That's it. Nobody really cared. They liked J.J. Watt. That was fun when they had J.J. Watt, but it wasn't like I feel more excited about like what the upcoming future now than I did when they had J.J. Watt. Like J.J. Watt was just electric to watch. You just knew they weren't going to do anything in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then before that, Andre Johnson was nice to watch as well back in the day. But
it was sad though. He was just wasted.
Yeah,
I just think he was wasted. He was such a good fucking talent. He just was wasted.
Agreed.
it'll be nice because our boy Stingley needs some help. I always love watching my good LSU players play, but yeah, let's see. We talked about Anthony Richardson a little bit at the Colts. What do you think about the Devin Witherspoon pick for Seattle?
Oh, excellent!
I think so too. I like
excellent. Honestly, quite a good steal. Because I had him predicted really the third pick in the draft, but that was if Arizona wasn't going to trade the pick. So the fact that he fell over to them at 5, just heck of a value. I think they're making Legion of Doom or like Legion of Boom in that secondary 2.0.
Really?
Oh, ooh. Yeah. I mean, what? They got Tyreek Woolen.
Yep.
And that's who played awesome in his rookie year. They got Devin Witherspoon, who's the best quarterback out of this draft.
Yeah, in a stacked cornerback draft too.
Yes. So and then I forgot they still have Jamal Adams over there at safety.
Yep. Let's see. Let's get. I wanted to talk about the top 5. Do you want to get to your winners and losers, and then we'll round off with maybe some first round information that we didn't get to?
Yeah.
Okay. Winners. My first winner is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Nice.
They had a haul. They had a fucking haul. I mean, which they needed to because they basically got rid of everybody. They needed to put players around Jalen Hurts. They needed to beef up that defense, especially Jalen Carter. Again, you could make an argument he should have been the number 1 pick. Yeah, sure, he's got off the field issues, but fuck, man, he's that talented. And then they got speedster Nolan Smith, who just I don't care like how whatever. If you run that fast with that size, you can be worked with. They can work with you. Tyler Steen, they needed an offensive tackle, or I think they needed a guard, huh? Or did they need a tackle? I can't remember which one. It was somebody on the offensive line. They did well with that. Then they got Keely Ringo, Brown, Tanner McKee, and Moro Ojomo. I just like saying that. Moro Ojomo.
Yeah. No, and Keely Ringo, that was superb value that they got him in the 5th round. I know he dropped because of some particular issues. But
did he not have a good combine? Is that what it was?
It's something like that.
Because he was nasty at Georgia last year. Like, he was part of that just dominant defense.
And, I mean, he was a top 15 prospect coming out of high school. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the talent is there. He's a big-time player. And, yeah, he was pretty nasty coming out of Georgia. I think he kind of got a little bit beat last year, which is kind of what dropped his value down.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, definitely good value at 5th round.
Who's one of your winners?
I'm gonna have to go. I'll have to go with the Seattle Seahawks. What we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Pete Carroll in the draft. He's so good.
Yeah, like he really does pick out some good prospects.
So I mean, he got Devin Witherspoon, and then he's got Jackson Smith and Jigba with the 20th pick. End up trading. What was it? He ended up trading up to get Devin Witherspoon. That was part of the Denver trade. Sorry, that was part of the Denver trade. Had 2 first rounds. Got Jackson Smith and Jigba, which is great because I think he's gonna. I mean, he's already got. Two talented wide receivers.
Yeah, I think he was the best wide receiver in this draft. That's my opinion. I know people can say Zay Flowers all they want or whoever.
Yeah.
But I think they got the most talented wide receiver in the draft.
Yeah, and I feel like both Tyler Lockett and Jackson Smith and Jigba are both flexible. That way, DK just plays on the outside the entire time, and you can move either one of those into the slot, depending on what type of mismatch you want to try to make up. And then it just put more confidence in Geno Smith's hand.
Oh yeah, because Geno Smith played well last year. He played very well. And he got a contract. So I think what Pete Carroll does is he's one of those coaches that I think he knows what he likes and what he wants, the pieces that he wants to put on his team, and he just goes after those pieces. Whereas I think a lot of coaches look at the overall talent in like wherever they're picking. Let's say they're at the 6th pick, or the 5th pick. They like to look at what's the most talented player in that, like where they're picking at. I think Pete Carroll just goes for what he needs, and that's what does. That's why, and I'm going to get to it here in a second, but I think that's why Pittsburgh had such a good draft.
Yep.
They basically just narrowed everything down to what they needed and went straight to what they needed, not who's the best pick in the draft, which I think is the best way to draft. You draft to your needs. I think the teams that have the best drafts are the ones that draft to their needs or their coaching scheme. That's why I think Bill Belichick does a great fucking job.
Yeah.
You know? And Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, just the entire Pittsburgh organization.
Well, you notice the people that draft really well and how they do on the field. I mean, look, you can see that within recent biases with the Eagles. The Eagles have been drafting phenomenally in the draft, and look what their team's been doing. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, to cap off the Seattle Seahawks, I actually like the pick with Derek Hall coming out of Auburn. He's a good kind of edge rusher. A lot of people knocked on the Zach Charbonnet pick with the running back out of UCLA.
Charbonnet.
But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but
It's a French ass name.
But yeah, they were knocking on it because they have Kenneth Walker already in that backfield. But given Kenneth Walker's health already and the fact that they don't have Rashad Penny anymore, I mean, you got to beef up that backfield if you're going to do a run heavy offense like the Seattle Seahawks do.
Also, I think the days of having just one dominant back is over. Like you even saw last year with like Cleveland how they had Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. It's a dual backfield now. The Saints just got Jamal Adams even though they had Alvin Kamara. You know what I'm saying? So like
Jamal Williams.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Jamal Williams. They got Jamal Williams when they had Alvin Kamara.
Yep.
Like I think more teams are just going to these double running back scenarios. Unless you're the fucking Atlanta Falcons, which will actually, you know what? We'll get to that.
We'll get to that later. But then the rest of their draft was pretty solid. So
yeah, another winner I had besides Pittsburgh, just Pittsburgh because it was just a complete draft all around. Like as far as their team needs, the talent they had, they got Joey Porter Jr. Mm-hmm. It was Joey Porter's son, so there's talent right there. And Darnell Washington in I think the 4th round. Was incredible. They put stuff around Kenny Pickett. Broderick Jones is a great fucking tackle. Like I said, Darnell Washington's great tight end. They're putting they're really investing in Kenny Pickett here, and while beefing up that defense, which it's the steel curtain. So they'll figure it out. What?
No,
I thought she had something. My other winner is Houston. They were. It seems like DeMeco Ryans knows what he wants to do and aggressively went up and grabbed everything because they traded all throughout the draft. They traded up all throughout the draft. If they saw somebody they wanted, didn't think they were going to get them, they traded up. They traded up. I think they traded up like four times. I think. Mm-hmm. I think it was 4 times the whole draft. Plus, they got a guy named Tank. Anytime you get a guy named Tank, it's going to be fun. I love it. Tank Dell, Nathaniel Dell, wide receiver. And then anytime you draft an Alabama linebacker, you're going to be fine. So Houston got Will Anderson and 202. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, 202.
202. Yeah. So anytime you get defensive players from Alabama, you're set. You're solid.
Yeah. He actually transferred from Tennessee, believe it or not.
202.
Yep.
Nice.
But yeah, no, you always kind of, I mean, Saban has a culture down there of good defenses, but
fuck Saban.
But I have to give props to the ones I'm gonna give props for this last one as far as the teams that had the most draft picks on these because I feel like in the draft I'm a big draft build through the draft type of guy. And there's more ways to find diamonds in the rough when you have more picks.
It's just that's probability. That's numbers.
Exactly.
That's the odds. We're gambling addicts. We go by odds. Yeah. You have better odds the more draft picks you draft.
Yeah. So Patriots and Bill Belichick have 12 picks. The Green Bay Packers and the Jacksonville Jaguars both had 13 picks each.
The Green Bay Packers did pretty well. I think they did for what they have to work with. I don't agree with Jordan Love being the starter, but what they have to work with, I think they did a decent job, which is unheard of for a Green Bay team.
Did they do a little slap in the face to
Aaron
Rodgers?
Rodgers. Oh yeah, they absolutely wanted to piss Aaron Rodgers
In the
off.
second and third rounds. This is a second and third round picks. They had 3 second and third round picks on day 2. Basically, tight end Luke Musgrave, wide receiver Jaden Reed, and tight end Tucker Kraft.
Love it.
Like 3 weapons back to back, all for Jordan Love.
Tell me you're salty without telling me you're salty. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
We always revert back to the ex. You know, your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend, they gotta they get a new toy, a new person, and they gotta show them off. They gotta show them off. They're just like, hey, look what we got. I went out and got somebody that you were jealous of. That's what it was.
Yep.
My other, are you done with that?
Yeah, and then I guess with the last one, the Rams didn't have a first rounder this year, but they had 14 picks.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
But yeah, I guess it was just a product of not, spending all those monies now throughout the years. Now they have to go after those cheap players.
Yep. They gotta build. They gotta do something, man. They're gonna be. Let's see the draft. The draft. I don't think they had a great draft as far as like ESPN standards go, but I think I loved their draft. Is the Detroit Lions. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's an incredible fucking running back, and it's something they needed. I'm a big, if you need it, go for it guy. Got Sam Laporta for who I think is a great tight end for Jared Goff, and they got Jack Campbell, an inside linebacker. Brian Branch, I think that's Deion Branch's son. I'm a big father-son guy, safety, and then they got Hendon Hooker, which he's a project quarterback, and they're gonna have Jared Goff for a few more years, and Hendon Hooker can learn from him. I think it's a great. If he develops well, I think it could be a really good pick that works out long term for him. But yeah, that's one of my I love drafts. I thought it was a good one from Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Dan Campbell, day one, he was just like, fuck your big board. Like, I don't give a shit about your big board. I'm getting the players that I want, and that's that.
Yep. That's exactly what he did. He just went out and got everything he wanted.
Yeah. It's so funny just watching the experts, the draft experts being like, whoa, Jahmyr Gibbs, top 12 pick? Wait, what? And they're just dumbfounded, and it's just like, but that's how Dan Campbell runs his program. He's like, I don't give a shit what your opinion is. I'm going to run it the way I want to run it. I'm going to get the players that I want, and that's it.
I also think that he thought Bijan Robinson was going to drop to him.
Yeah, he could have. He definitely could have. I was curious about that as well, if that was like more of a panic pick because, Bijan Robinson had already got drafted.
No, I think he was just like, I want to run him back in the first round, and I want it to be Bijan Robinson. And then it wasn't Bijan Robinson, and so it was like, well, what's the next best option?
Well, because they traded back.
Right.
Because remember, they did trade back to that 12th pick. And that was before Bijan Robinson had actually gotten picked. So, you're right. They could have been thinking like, oh, no one's going to pick him up. We can get him a little bit later. Mm-hmm. And
well, it's a good segue to my draft losers. Atlanta. They really didn't address any real concerns, like any real needs. Bijan Robinson. Why were they so sold on Bijan Robinson? I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense.
For a team that was the third best rushing team in the league last year, and the sixth worst defense in the league, it's baffling. It's a baffling pick.
I don't know. They didn't get a defensive player till Zach Harrison, their third pick, Zach Harrison, a defensive end. They did get a cornerback in Clark Phillips, who I don't really know anything about, and neither do I know anything about DeMarco Hellams.
Safety from Alabama.
Yeah, that's always a nice to pick, but like I didn't hear his name too much last year.
Well, I mean, what is it? I don't think he was a starter.
I don't either.
Because Jordan Battle and Brian Branch were both starters on safety. So that's kind of I guess that's a reason why he fell to the 7th round.
Alabama's just too fucking loaded.
Yeah, that was definitely a baffling draft by the Atlanta Falcons. But hey,
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it too.
It's okay. It hurt my brain, and I just wanted Bijan Robinson to go somewhere else. Honestly, anywhere else. It could have even still been in the division, just not to the fucking Falcons. Because I think he's going to be so good. Who's your other loser? Or did you have another winner? I kind of went on to the losers.
Yeah, no, it's fine. What did I have? I like the Houston Texans draft. I just think they gave up quite a bit to get back into that third pick. I mean, it's going to be quite a bit of a sting for the future picks, but I mean, it does establish them pretty well up front.
I think it's a good base, and then they can just get who they want in free agency next year. Because like this is a building. It's D'Amico Ryan's first year. We talked about first year coaches. You'd rather start rebuilding as a first year coach. You don't like. I honestly think that's the best situation to get into as a first year coach. You don't want to have high expectations as your first year in head coaching. Mm-hmm. So you build a base and you get some free agents in the free agent market, and there you go. I'm
a big fan. I'm a big fan of like the winners that are able to trade down in the first round. Mm-hmm. So like your Arizona Cardinals and Chicago Bears really set themselves up really nicely for the future.
Yeah.
And then like also, I mean, we saw this the year before when Howie Roseman basically stole the Saints' first round pick, mm-hmm. and look at how he's been able to do it with his drafts.
Yep.
Also, a lot of GMs are starting to whine and complain that Howie Roseman's getting all the attention. Like, just do better.
Just be better. It's not. It's
not that fucking hard.
No, it's not.
Like they're just so mad that he's getting all the attention. It's like because he's fucking good.
Yeah. Just be better. It's that easy. Just be better at your job.
Yeah.
Who's your losers, or at least one of them?
Another one of my losers. I'm trying to go through and see.
I'll go. Well, I'll go while you're looking. Washington. I think Washington had a shit draft because. Like, fuck, are you really? They're really banking on Sam Howell? They're really going with Sam Howell. They didn't draft a single quarterback. They basically just they tried to beef up the offensive line and then draft defense, and then they drafted a running back really late. So they are really, really sold on Sam Howell somehow, which makes no sense to me at all. I don't know. They're getting a new owner, so maybe things will change. But I think that was another loser. My other two losers are the New York Jets, but who cares? They gave up everything to get Aaron. They got Aaron Rodgers. Of course, they weren't going to have a good draft. Like they got a couple of pieces that they needed, but that's about it. And my other one is San Francisco, and that's only because my brain is so like centered around fantasy that when I see a team pick a kicker in the third round, I immediately say it's a bad draft. So this is a fault I have. It's because I'm too obsessed with fantasy football. But yes, the San Francisco, they were a big loser here in this draft because they drafted a kicker in the third round.
Yeah. The only thing is with them is like they were basically just kind of luxury picking at this point because they have their team set.
They really were, which is nice.
Yeah,
it's nice that you have your team is so good that you can just waste a third round pick on a kicker.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah,
must be nice.
So and then basically they just got a bunch of like other scrubs in the back, just to round it up. But yeah, no, I mean I didn't think there was too many losers in this draft. I'm trying to think of who else.
Well, give your analysis on the Saints draft, because I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm initially and now I'm not a big fan. Now I will convince myself by the start of the season that it was a good draft. It's gonna take me a while though. Mm-hmm. I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan of the draft. I think we didn't get a tight end. That was one of those things I kind of wanted to see, and we could have gotten B.J. Ojulari. But we didn't.
I don't think B.J. Ojulari fits our system. I think he's a great player. I think he's going to do well in the pros, but I don't think he fits the system that Dennis Allen runs, which is hence why I don't think they went that direction.
I don't know. I just wanted to see B.J. Ojulari in the on the Saints. We drafted a running back in the third round. I didn't understand that.
I I'll put my in perspective because I honestly was a lot more favorable of this draft than most people were. So
okay, yeah, because that'll be good. So I don't know why we drafted a running back in the third round, a quarterback in the fourth round. We didn't get a safety until the fifth, and a wide receiver until the fifth and sixth rounds, which I think those were big needs that we had that we didn't address till late. So yes, Joe, please, I need you to spin zone this. I wasn't even too excited about our first round pick, Breezy. I don't know. I didn't really like it. It was a positional need, so I was happy about that. I was mostly wanting to get what's his face that got picked right before. What was it? Oh my god, I can't think of his name. It's right, Miles Murphy. I wanted Miles Murphy, but he got drafted picked before us to the Bengals. So I guess I was still kind of upset about that.
Yeah, Miles Murphy.
But I need you to help me turn this around because I'm not happy with the Saints draft.
Well, Miles Murphy definitely would have been more, not as a positional need, but more of a kind of just edge rusher, which, the common theme that people always preach about when it comes to the NFL draft is you can never have not enough pass rushers.
Right.
So, that would have been a good pick. But this is definitely a positional need with Brian Breesy. A lot of people have been kind of shitting on him because of the college production, but this guy was the number one prospect coming out of high school whenever he came out 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. The talent is there, and he's a very good run stuffer. I mean, he's a better pass rusher from that inside position, which is going to I think is just going to help your edge rushers out that much more. I'm very big on him. I think a bunch of his production went down because of his injury and because he was dealing with some personal issues with the death of his sister during that time to cancer.
See, I didn't know about the death of his sister. That turned things around a little bit because people, depending on how close they are and stuff like that, they take death a little hard.
Well, it affects people differently.
Right.
So
it could have affected him. His play, a lot of shit off the field affects people's play on the field all the time.
Yeah,
you see that with the people who go through divorces or deaths in the family. You can use it to fuel you, or you can use it, or it can hurt you.
Yeah. So I was a much bigger fan of that. I think it's going to turn out to be a great pick. I think it's just like a new chapter in his life. He's going to make the next step, and I think it's going to work out really well. Isaiah Foskey from defensive end from Notre Dame. I know that it's kind of with a grain of salt when I say this, but he is the record holder for sacks at Notre Dame. He's a big-bodied defensive lineman. He can kind of push Peyton Turner on that edge a little bit. But I don't know why I say that as far as the leader in sacks, because during Notre Dame's heyday, whenever they had all their good players, they weren't keeping up that as a stat. So I know that's what some people have been saying, but still, it's a big time school like Notre Dame, and he had production. And the typical Dennis Allen type of defensive ends are people that can rush the quarterback but also play the run. Mm-hmm. He likes that balance between them, and I think he fits the mold perfectly. Maybe a little bit higher than what he should have been drafted, but it's another position of need that they went after, and I think it's good talent. People are really shitting on the Kendry Miller pick. The thing is Alvin Kamara is going to be suspended most likely. That's what they're planning for. And this is another big time talent coming out of high school. And he had very good production at TCU. Really was the soul of that running game. And if you watch his tape, he is very good in between the tackles.
I think they're not mad about him as a talent. I think he's a great running back. I just think that we should have picked somebody else, another positional need, maybe a wide receiver or a safety if one was available there, or maybe traded up to get somebody. I just don't think we should have picked a running back at that spot. With the third round pick, I think that's why everybody was mad.
I love third round running backs.
Yes, we do.
I think third round running backs is exactly the value of where you should be getting those running backs.
That's where the running backs should be going down to. Yes.
Yes. So I don't
I don't mind it. And I don't think it's that big.
It's like in fantasy. Again, my brain always goes back to fantasy with the draft. But it's like in fantasy, if you have a one quarterback league, no quarterback should be taken in the first 3 rounds at least, unless you have like maybe like 16 teams. But if you're in like a standard one quarterback 12 team league, you probably don't take a quarterback until like the end of the 3rd round.
Yeah,
in my opinion. So I think, yeah, I agree. Picking running backs before the 3rd round is just not our style. So, okay, maybe that. Well, all right. So what about the quarterback in the 4th? That doesn't make any sense to me either. That pisses me off.
That one, I mean, that one's a little bit of a head scratcher. Just I guess that's a project type of player to see if he works out, because he had a very productive career at Fresno State, and so it's a developmental player that if it pans out, by the time he would pan out, it would be the judgment call between where Derek Carr's at.
Okay.
So like if Derek Carr doesn't work out, because I mean you're gonna rely on Derek Carr for another 2 to 3 years. I mean I'm thinking 3 years. I'm thinking 3 years at least.
Yeah. Derek Carr's got that many years left in him. It just we'll see how many years he can remain a decent quarterback.
Yeah. And then I mean as we've seen with so many other teams, that backup quarterback position is becoming more and more valuable. So like I mean you get a player hurt. You want you get your starter hurt. You want somebody to fill in and be able to at least win half your games. I mean, while you're gone, because what is it? What do we see? We saw Jacoby Brissett. He did that with Cleveland. Whenever let's play for a suspension in this case with Deshaun Watson.
That's true. I guess you never really know, but just Derek Carr really doesn't have a history of it. I guess he is a project quarterback. Again, another pick I don't understand why we did in the 4th round. I do like the Old Dominion guard. I like that pick. It just addressed the need, and yeah.
Yeah, I love moving outside offensive tackles inside to guard, because the outside tackles are always going to be a little bit more athletic than your guards. And that's what they're probably going to do. Either do that, or they're going to play him like an Andrews Pete, where they play him all over the line.
Yeah.
I think that was a great pick up with that. And then you got A.T. Perry. I do not knock on him. I thought that was great value at the 6th round pick. He's 6'3" and can fly. Like, he's got excellent size. He goes up and reaches the ball, and he can fly down the field.
We usually are pretty good about those last those late round wide receivers.
Absolutely.
Here at the Saints. At the Saints, we know how to draft late round wide receivers and 3rd round running backs.
Yeah.
So another reason why I didn't like that pick is because nothing against A.T. Perry. I think we should have picked a wide receiver way before him. That was my only thing. I wish we would have drafted a wide receiver in the 3rd round instead of the running back, and maybe a safety with one of those 4th round picks. But again,
well, the thing is if Michael Thomas plays the entire year, then that completely negates that.
I love how, I don't know, you're really excited about something that has a very low chance of happening.
It's the off season. It's home of dreams and hypothetical situations.
Yes. We conjure up stories that convince ourselves that it'll happen. Which okay, we kind of we revamped the quarterback position a little bit. We brought in a couple studs. We drafted. I'll end up convincing myself over the summer that we drafted well. I'm gonna do some. There's gonna be some preseason games that somebody's gonna do well, and or like during the summer, we'll have some. I don't know. They'll do well in the off-season training. I don't know. Let's see. You got anything else on the draft? It was like I said, it was just an exciting draft all the way through. It was just really, really exciting. Kansas City's awesome.
We had a record of 43 draft day trades.
Really?
Yep, broke the record from 2019 when we had 43 draft day trades.
Wow, dude, and that okay. So going back to what we were saying last week about picking the first round of the March Madness tournament and picking the first round of the NFL draft, it is way harder to pick the NFL draft. I mean, like you got what, one correct? Mel Kiper got, or no, you got 2. I think you got 2 correct.
In the first round?
Yeah.
Get out of here. I think I had 3.
Yeah, Bryce Harper.
I had Bryce Young.
Or Bryce Young. Wow.
Bryce
Went to baseball there.
Bryce Young.
Yeah, Breesy going to the Saints.
I did have Darnell Wright going to the Chicago Bears, but he went 10th instead of 9th.
Okay, so we'll give you a half point there.
Okay. Let's see who else we had.
See, I think he just...
I know the Jets wanted Paris Johnson Jr. They wanted him.
That doesn't count.
They got the Steelers. Steelers got Broderick Jones.
And that you had that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's not bad. I think that's pretty good. You had, what, 3.5?
Hold on a second.
Oh,
the Baltimore Ravens got Zay Flowers.
You had that pick?
Yep.
4.5?
And then what is it? I think the last one.
I counted the Breesy one.
Yeah, the last one was Breesy.
So 4.5 out of that's not bad. Actually, that's pretty good for a first round. I wonder we'll figure out what Todd McShay and Mel Kiper had on their final, and we'll see who won this year because Joe won last year.
Yep.
Joe beat Todd McShay and Mel Kiper last year. So yep. I like your chance. 4.5. I like your chances there.
Yeah, not too shabby. And then if you really want to, Will Anderson did go to the Houston Texans. It just was the 3rd pick instead of the 2nd.
Okay, I'll give you a half point. So you got 5.
Point.
You got 5.
Okay.
Okay, good. Half point.
Because the thought was there. I knew what they were wanting to draft.
You knew what D'Amico, and honestly, that you should get more than half credit because D'Amico Ryans really wanted Will Anderson, and that's what you were saying.
Yep.
That he really wanted Will Anderson, and that proved to be true. But yeah, great fucking draft. Can't wait for the season now. Anything else on the NFL draft?
That's about it.
All right, let's get on to OTDISH. On this day in sports history, let's see. I got in 2015, Floyd Mayweather beats Manny Pacquiao on points in 12 rounds by unanimous decision in world welterweight unification fight. That match shattered all the financial records for a boxing match.
You know what the total revenue was?
What was that?
$600 million total revenue.
Jesus Christ, for one fucking... I remember that, too, because it took Floyd a while. Like, I'm talking years to fight Manny Pacquiao, which that was, like, the asterisk by it. Manny Pacquiao kept wanting to box Floyd Mayweather, but Mayweather just kept waiting. Finally, it got to the point where he agreed, but Manny Pacquiao was already already really old as far as boxing standards go. Mm-hmm. So like it was just kind of an asterisk because he waited so long, but there was really no reason. There was no like clear reason why they waited. There was a bunch of financial issues that they ran into, and that's it's quote unquote financial issues because that's Money Mayweather's team. Like they're supposed to not have financial issues, but I guess the pay wasn't there. But I think Mayweather was just scared of getting beat by Pacquiao.
Who knows?
What you got?
All right, 1978, a guy by the name of Earl Campbell from Texas was the number 1 draft pick by the Houston Oilers.
Earl Campbell.
1978.
Texas always has a fucking they always have studs. They always have studs. There's always going to be talent coming out of Texas
because it's because of the high school football.
Dude, high school football in Texas is something else, man.
They have high school football teams have nicer stadiums than some college teams.
In Texas?
Oh, yeah.
Well, everything.
Go look at a list of the top stadiums, high school stadiums in Texas, and you'll be amazed.
Well, if your high school team is bringing in that much fucking money,
yeah,
then yeah, that deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
That deserves it for sure. Let's see. I got 1939. Lou Gehrig set a new Major League Baseball record when he played in his 2,130th game. That streak began on June 1st in 1925. The man just didn't stop fucking playing baseball, man.
And the man knew one thing. That was baseball.
That's it.
I got a baseball one, too.
What you got?
So in 1909, Honus Wagner
steals
his way around the bases in the first inning against the Cubs. His nickname? The Flying Dutchman.
How
awesome is that?
That is incredible. The Flying Dutchman?
Yeah.
That's I thought isn't that a Pirates of the Caribbean thing?
Yeah, it's a Pirates of the Caribbean
What
reference.
was written first?
Well,
Or
I'm
what
sure
happened first?
I'm sure that is. I want to say that is like pirate folklore, and it just was something that was brought
adopted,
something that was adopted by him as a nickname, and then also something that was adopted by the Pirates or Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's just
writers.
such a cool fucking name, though.
Oh, the Flying Dutchman.
And what was his actual name? Honus Wagner.
Honus Wagner.
Honus Wagner actually sounds like a guy who could steal bases. He just hones in and just fucking darts for the bases.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm bring back nicknames.
Isn't there a phrase that's called "That's so honus" or something like that?
Heinous.
Heinous. Okay, that was it.
I think that's it.
And it's
sure.
like it's kind of like ridiculous or something like
yeah.
that. Yeah, I was wondering if that was maybe like derived from this, like how just ridiculous he was at stealing bases.
I'm gonna say that's what it was.
Yeah,
That's how the saying got derived. Yeah, bring back nicknames. Do you have any more? I only had those two.
Well, and I guess in theme of the Kentucky Derby coming up, I didn't realize this, but in 1970 we had the first woman jockey.
1970?
Yeah, at the Kentucky Derby. I didn't even know there were women jockeys.
Me neither. I don't think I've seen a woman jockey in a while. At least, well, I don't really.
I think it's been a minute. I think it's been since like 2015 since there's been one. But Diane Crump.
Nice.
Was the first one. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's an open event. It's not like it's the men's Kentucky Derby. It's like,
right.
It's an open event. Like if you can ride a horse, you can ride a horse.
There's tons of girls who love riding horses, so
yeah,
that makes sense. You got to be small though, which I guess girls are. They can. Be,
I mean, it makes.
They're generally small.
Sense.
They're generally smaller than men. Like if you just look at it statistically.
Yeah.
They are. They're shorter, weigh a little less. The average weight's a little less, so that makes sense.
It does.
All right, let's get to the NBA playoffs. Before I get to that, let's big news today, breaking news today. Joel Embiid wins the MVP.
Yep. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Joel Embiid. I think I don't know if he deserved it this year.
You go in a different direction.
Yeah, I don't think he deserved it. I'm sorry. I think Jokic should have won it for a third year in a row, but it was just one of those things where it's just like, all right, well, let's let the other guys have a turn.
Like they didn't want to give it to him 3 times in a row.
No. That's. I just don't. If you look at the stats, Jokic had a better season. The Denver Nuggets had a better season record-wise, and like you see that like even with the first game against the Boston Celtics, we saw in Game 1, no Embiid, and they still beat the Celtics.
Yeah,
Guarantee
we'll get to that.
Guarantee you take Jokic off the Nuggets, and they don't even come close to beating the Detroit Pistons. Like, that's no offense to the rest of the team, and I'm exaggerating, obviously, but you get my point.
It's a little exaggeration.
I know it's an exaggeration. It is. And again, no offense to
I'm just
Jamal
thinking
Murray.
about my boy Jamal Murray.
No offense to Jamal Murray and all them, but I'm just trying to make a point here.
Yeah. I see what you mean. But, yeah, I think this was, like, what, in referee terms of, like, a makeup call, you know? Because I feel like Joel Embiid had a better year previously. Not that he was better than Jokic, but he had a better year statistically than this year.
Last year or the year before? No, I think because it was either last year or the year before where he was supposed to get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably should have done some more research, but like it was a toss-up between him and Jokic, and they gave it to Jokic. So I guess this is, like you said, yeah, the referee.
It's like a referee makeup call.
Right. In a game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
just
my opinion on it.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I mean, he is a top player. He's been playing that way, the last couple of years. So, like, in this one, there wasn't too much of a front runner per se. Mm-hmm. It just really everybody was just kind of like in the leaderboard like the entire season. So, yeah, for this year, I like it. I don't mind it. I think Joel Embiid he's a great player.
Yeah. So it changes it up a bit. All right, let's get to we'll get to the NBA playoffs. Let's do round 1. We'll quickly go through these. Let's start off. Let's jump right into the Milwaukee Miami. Upset City, baby. Jimmy Butler is a G. He basically controls the fucking game. I know Giannis was kind of hurt, but Miami took down a number 1 seed as an 8 seed.
Yep, Milwaukee Bucks, they fucked around too much and found out.
They found out. They sure did. Now, if Jimmy Buckets can stay fucking healthy, Miami, I think, can make a run because they're playing as a unit. Like you said last week, Eric Spoelstra's been there. He's been there. He's done that before. He knows what a championship team looks like. Now, granted, he hasn't won one without LeBron, but he knows there's something to be said of having experience in the playoffs, especially as a coach.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
I mean, because the playoffs it's completely different than the season. Seasons you kind of go through up and downs. It's a long season. You kind of ride on the rhythms and getting into different streaks, kind of almost like baseball in a way. But when it's the playoffs, it's the playoffs. It's a different speed.
Everybody's bringing their A game all at the same time. Whereas in the season, you got people taking breaks. You got people maybe not playing as hard because it's not an important game. Yada yada yada. So yeah, it does. Their experience in the playoff goes a long way. The Cleveland New York matchup, that was a weird one, just because it's just you look at Cleveland's roster and it has so much potential, so much potential. And I think on paper you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers and they look better than the New York Knicks.
Absolutely.
On paper, I guess this is why you play the games. But if you look at it on paper, they win this matchup every time.
I just don't know how with that roster. And they did the right move on acquiring a superstar in Donovan Mitchell, and then they get held for each of their losses. They got held to sub 100 points. You can't do that with a player like Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, and then also with your big man Evan Mobley and Jared Allen.
Evan Mobley's soft.
He got exposed.
They need to toughen that motherfucker up.
He got exposed. I mean, you can't be that size and be like that in the paint.
They need to get a bunch of big men and just bully him until he becomes a bully. That's what they need to do. They just need to have people bully him down low. And I'm talking in a pickup game to where there's no refs.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cleveland goes down, but they have so much potential. They're very young, so I think they're going to be exciting to watch next year. Congratulations to the Knicks. What was that?
Knicks fans, good for the playoffs.
Yes. So having home court advantage in the Garden is excellent.
Yeah.
We'll get to that series. We'll get to the New York Miami series here in a second, but Boston Atlanta. Congrats! It took longer than we thought. I didn't think it would go into 6 games. I don't think anybody thought it was going to go into 6 games. If anything, people thought it was going to be a gentleman's sweep, and that's it.
Yeah. No. Props to Atlanta. I mean, that's like I said. I've been saying all along. For Quinn Snyder, this is just a prime season for him.
This is kind of a win for Quinn Snyder, if I'm being honest.
Yep.
Getting 2 W's in this series is a win for Quinn Snyder.
Yeah, and because that's the thing, it goes a long way for a team like that into believing into their coach. Like, hey, we weren't given a shot in this series.
Not even close.
Maybe not even in this season. And, he was able to turn some things around and make us a contender. What can he do in year 2?
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Game 6 was in Atlanta, so they had it worked out to go to a Game 7, but they just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, it took honestly they were tied up late into the fourth quarter. It took a 16-6 run by the Boston Celtics and at the end to close it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's that championship pedigree right there, baby. That's
people that's been playing for together for quite some time, the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see, Denver versus Minnesota. We called that one. I thought Minnesota would get 1, and they got 1. That's about it. They were extremely unmatched or outmatched.
Yeah.
I thought I did think Rudy Gobert was going to do a little bit better than he did, but there's nothing really much to say about this one.
Nope.
Phoenix versus LA Clippers. They have Russell Westbrook, and Kawhi Leonard just decided to sit. He got hurt. I know he got hurt, but it's just you can't win with Russell Westbrook. That's it. So I don't really. This one didn't really surprise me either.
No, I mean the Clippers probably made it a little bit closer. All facts considered, how much were sitting out. But yeah, no, I mean shoot, that had people calling for Kawhi Leonard to like I guess his head per se.
Yeah,
in the sense of like, hey, this guy should retire.
This is when that's what I was saying. Like, if you're a Clippers fan, you are just so fucking frustrated. You don't want to pay these older guys now because they're not going to be like LeBron James.
No,
once you get over a certain age, unless you have the same game as Steph Curry, which kudos to Steph Curry because he basically molded his game around what it would be. With a strategy that it would just last a long. It's a lasting. God, what am I trying to say? The way he plays lasts longer in the NBA. You can play the way he plays older when you get older.
Yeah, but he also molds his game because he's not that very big.
No, it was probably a little bit of it was out of necessity, but it still just chuck up threes. Speaking of which, this is a good segue. Golden State versus Sacramento. Great series, awesome. I'm excited about Sacramento for the near future. It just sucks that they had to run into the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, it was the only series that went to Game 7, and yeah, like you said, it sucks that they were against the Golden State Warriors because, I think that's the only other team. Because what was it? They had other number one seeds, or they had other top seeds that went down. We had a number one and a number two seed that both went down. From the in this playoffs.
Number one seed, a number two seed, and a number three seed.
Yeah, that didn't go, and those games didn't go to Game 7. This was the only one that did. So, so props to Sacramento. They definitely going to be an exciting team from here on out. I like Mike Brown as a coach. I think he's funny. I think he's hilarious, but he also really connects with his players and they play hard for him.
Yeah. It also doesn't help when Steph Curry drops 50 in Game 7. I'm sorry, bro. I don't care if you have home court advantage or not. You're not going to beat Steph Curry. You're not going to beat Golden State Warriors when Steph Curry drops 50.
Yeah, I think he had some lower back soreness. After the game, did you hear about that?
Carrying this team.
Gosh, you got my punchline.
I should have let you have it. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Carrying the team. But yeah, that was the only Game 7, like you said. It's gonna be it'll be fun to watch Sacramento. I'm pretty excited. Malik Monk's nasty, dude. They just have a really good core of guys. Let's get to Memphis versus Lakers. Dylan Brooks got his 40.
He got his 40 in a way.
In a way, he died no respect until they dropped 40. Well, they beat him by 40, so I guess that's a little more. That does. I think that demands more respect than whoever he's guarding getting 40.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got whooped.
Yep.
You got whooped, and it was in LA too.
You notice the experienced guys versus the newcomers of the playoffs, whereas Dylan Brooks was yapping from the very start. And LeBron waited until after the series.
Right.
And he sounded off.
It just, on offense, they just, in that Game 6, they looked like a shell of themselves. Like, they weren't scoring. No, John Morant wasn't playing very well. Desmond Bane wasn't playing very well. Jaren Jackson wasn't playing very well. They didn't show up to play.
Yeah, they were kind of defeated before that game started.
Yeah, it was almost like they gave up on the series.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. But yeah, it's maybe we'll see how Dylan Brooks bounces back next year because this might be something that's tough to bounce back from.
I've got to give props to the guy who went onto the Wikipedia page for the Guangdong Southern Tigers from the China League and added Dylan Brooks to the roster.
Oh no! I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Ooh, that's tough.
But yeah, but from the rumors, it looks like he's out from the Memphis Grizzlies.
Well, here's the thing: they're going to need to do something because I don't think Steven Adams is going to be coming back is going to be the answer to all their problems. I don't know. It was weird because they were dominant all season, and then they just got to the playoffs, and I guess having the Lakers in the first round is probably like the worst case scenario if you're gonna be that high of a seed. But like, fuck, man, you gotta at least put up a fight.
Yeah, you gotta suspect that there was some like insider like tension within the locker room going on. It just did not seem like you said, from the season versus the playoffs. Like, I get it, Lakers are good, they're experienced, they got LeBron James, who's one of the all-time best, but at the same time, like, that was not the same Memphis team that we saw all season.
No, absolutely not. And I know like the Ja Morant stuff, like the Ja Morant injury was tough, but like it was just, I don't know. They weren't playing with any fire. It's almost like the football equivalent of the coach losing the locker room. It seemed like what happened.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the predictions. Let's start with the Miami versus New York series. Miami's already up 1-0. That game is going on right as we speak. It actually is probably finished. I'm going to go look it up and see who won. It's still going on. New York Knicks are up 99-96 with 4 minutes left to go. This is going to be fun. Now, with that being said, the New York Knicks have to win this game too.
Oh, they have to.
In Madison Square Garden, with Jimmy Butler out, you have to capitalize on this. But, yeah, I'm hoping this one goes into Game 7. Like, it just, I don't know. It's going to be a fun one.
It's an old rivalry getting brought back. There's been some pretty good Miami New York Knicks series, playoff series that have been pretty intense. So if you want to go see some good YouTube videos, check out the history between those two teams. It's a good rivalry that's getting brought back, and I really hope, like you said, I hope this goes to Game 7.
Oh, I just think they match up well with each other. Both teams do.
Yep.
It's going to be a nice. I think maybe the Knicks had some nerves in Game 1 because they couldn't buy a 3. They couldn't buy a 3 in Game 1. They might have had some nerves. They might be calming down now. But yeah, dude, home court advantage, Madison Square Garden, second round of the playoffs, can't beat it.
Yep.
Who do you think's gonna win this one?
Give me Butler and the Heat.
Like in how many games?
Give me Game 7.
I think it's gonna be Game 6. With the way it started off, they stole one, and I think they can. If I'd say they lose tonight in Game 2, win Game 3, win Game 4, lose Game 5, win Game 6.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be a home court advantage type of thing. Let's get on to Philly and Boston. Philly stole one. I'm talking thief. Stole one in Boston without Joel Embiid. I don't know how that happened.
Doc Rivers has this one circled on his calendar.
Oh, he wants it so bad.
He wants this series so bad.
Yeah. I don't blame him either because like it's this perfect setup. Now, granted, I do have to point out James Harden has one great game in him every single series. He spent it in Game 1.
He spent it in Game 1. I hate that. They needed it from him
exactly,
in Game 1.
Exactly. So he spent that in Game 1. 45 points, I believe he had. So good for them. They needed that.
Was it because of his pregame fit?
I don't know. I didn't see it. He's always got a weird one.
Yeah, no, this one was extra baggy. Like, I mean, it was basically like the 90s that's called and, like, was making a revival, wanted their style back.
Yeah. Okay, so he's trying to bring back the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I like the 90s. It was a weird time, but we don't know. It was fun. I think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are going to need help offensively if they're going to win. They can't do this all by themselves. So whether it be maybe Robin Williams on the offensive boards helping them put some putbacks or something or whatever, or White, I think they're going to need help because they both did pretty well in game 1, but the rest of the team kind of sucked.
Yeah. And then a little bit that went under the radar a little bit here. Who's kind of turning into a superstar, Tyrese Maxey with 26 points.
Yeah,
he is quite the scorer.
He's so good. He's so fun to watch.
Good.
He's an energy guy.
He's
an energy guy that's one you bring out to fire up the fucking troops.
Yep.
But yeah, I still think Boston wins this one, but I think this goes to Game 7. I think it's everything we want it to be and more.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree because Joel Embiid's going to be coming back at a certain point, which should make the series a little bit more intense. Boston's going to wake up after this game. Like they're not going to play like I don't know if they let that one slip again in this series if they have like an advantage like they did in that situation.
Because they were winning. I mean, it wasn't by much. It was a great game. They were winning the whole time, and then Philly came through at the end there.
Yeah.
So again, like you said, I don't think that happens. I don't think they let that happen.
But yeah, I'll have to agree. I'm gonna have to go with Game 7, Celtics.
Celtics, okay. Denver Phoenix. This is disappointing. I thought the Phoenix Suns could at least steal one in Denver.
They should have stole one in the second game.
Yeah.
Like Denver came out cold, but they just couldn't capitalize.
And like this again, this sounds weird every time I say it because KD had like 20 I think he had 24 points in one game and 29 points in another or something like that. 27 points, I think. He's going to have to put up 30 plus every game. I think they need more productivity from him. Which is weird to say because he actually hasn't been playing poorly. I saw on the ESPN, I saw some people talking about it. Maybe they traded a little too much for him. They need a couple, one or two guys to come off the bench every now and then and be actually productive. Mm-hmm. I think they may have given up a little bit too much.
Well, and then in this case, with CP3 being out for games 3 through 5, yeah, I mean, who do you turn to now? Your bench is empty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. I see Denver winning this in 5. Unfortunately,
I got a sweep. I got a clean sweep.
Oh boy, I think Kevin Durant's gonna come alive in Phoenix. One of those games, one of those 2 games. I think he's gonna drop like 40 plus points, and I think they're gonna rally around him for one of those games. But that's it. Game 5, it'll be done.
Yeah.
After Game 5, okay.
I don't know.
Sweep.
I got a sweep. I got a sweep on this one.
Dude, Denver's so fucking good.
I mean, now, yeah, with the emergence, because I mean, obviously, Jokic is going to do Jokic things, and he's going to make players around him better. But if you have Jamal Murray that's playing like an absolute superstar, like
he's so much fun.
Bubble Murray is back.
Bubble Murray is definitely back.
Yeah. And then now also, I mean, you got a supporting role with Michael Porter Jr. who can score points when you need to.
Yep.
Know? So, like, this team just looks way too dangerous right now.
Yep. So you got the sweep. I got Denver in 5. Let's get to the Golden State versus LA Lakers matchup. I think this. I know I was talking to you about this, and you don't really agree as much as I do, but I think this is a matchup nightmare for Golden State. They don't have Andre Iguodala to guard LeBron. Sure, Kevon Looney's been playing very well, and I think he will contain, might not even be the best word, may contain Anthony Davis, kind of slow him down. I don't know. This is gonna be up to the guard play and how well they can slow down LeBron James. I think if Steph Curry needs to put up at least 30 to 40 points every game.
Yeah, but LeBron is not going to be the same LeBron that he has been in the past. Not to say that he's not going to be good, but that's not kind of his role with this team anymore. You know?
I agree. He's not. I mean, obviously, he's not 2016 LeBron James anymore, but
where he has the ball like every possession.
But they still like Reeves, AD, D'Angelo Russell's kind of came into his own. Yeah. Like the Golden State Warriors need the Splash Brothers to come alive. They have to make all the
Clay specifically.
Clay specifically. That's true because Steph Curry's been playing lights out. They need like Jordan Poole. They're gonna have to be automatic from behind the arc at every single game. I think because down low, I think they're gonna get trashed. Down low, this is gonna be a domination for the Lakers in the paint. I don't think they have any chance. Again, Looney might. And then Kuminga, how tall is Kuminga? Is he LeBron James's height? I think he's
like a wing. He's like a wing.
That might be an option for them just to throw at LeBron every now and then just to like beat him up a little bit, you know, like to get some fouls. I don't know what else they're gonna do.
I don't know. Let's put it this way: LeBron is 7-15 against the Warriors in the playoffs. So with Steph and Steve Kerr.
Now, granted, they don't have KD.
Now, yes, now granted, I don't know the record without KD. That is a very excellent point. But at the same time, they're gonna play this series good.
It's gonna be a fun series. I think it's gonna go.
I almost kind of wish it was a little further down the line in the playoffs.
Me too.
Just given like this, we're running out of time. We're running out of instances where this is going to happen again.
Yeah,
with everybody aging kind of the way they are.
We might actually have to relish this because this might be the last time.
Yeah,
this could be the last time. So enjoy it. I hope it goes into Game 7. Unfortunately, I think the Lakers are going to take it in either 5 or 6. That's it's a bold, it's a bold move there. But here's the thing: I'm gonna be rooting for the Golden State. I love Steph Curry. He's like one of my favorite players of all time to watch. But if I'm gonna gamble, I'm gonna say probably Lakers in 6.
Dang.
Yeah.
Lakers in 6.
I want it to go to Game 7, and I want Golden State to win, but Lakers in 6. What do you think?
Give me Golden State in 7.
Oh, let's go. All right. Well, there you go. That's our predictions. We're going to keep up with the playoffs as they go along. Let's do the Kentucky Derby real quick, and then we'll finish off.
So this is the 149th Kentucky Derby.
Been going on for a long time.
I know. Honestly, I would kind of be down to go to the 150th next year.
Ooh, that would be fun. They'll probably do like something big for that.
Oh, absolutely.
150. Let's see. Forte has the best odds at 3-1 right now. Tap It Trice.
Okay.
I wish it was Tap It Thrice. That would be my number one main man.
Yeah.
Is second at 5-1, and Angel Empire is third at 8-1. Now, obviously, those are probably going to change as it gets closer to the Kentucky Derby, but I don't look at the odds. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't look at the odds.
No,
I'm a big name guy.
Yeah,
we're both big name guys. But
yeah. It's like if I'm shopping like a bottle of wine. I'm not no wine connoisseur by any means, but you give me a good label and a good name and good marketing, you got me sold.
Mm-hmm. Am I? Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at the right Derby odds. All right. Derma Sotogaki.
Okay.
I don't know. That and Practical Move are both 10-1 odds. Those are 5 and 6. So those are the top odds. I'm gonna go. Let's see.
Mr. Rocket Can.
Rocket Can, yeah.
I love just looking at these names, and that's basically how I'm going to pick this.
I would probably pick Verifying because I think that's kind of funny.
Right, that's very new age.
Yeah, it is. I want something to be like AI related, or like somebody to be named ChatGPT.
Oh, that would be good. That's going to be next. So like right now, Verifying is more social media.
Yeah,
they haven't made their way over to AI yet.
Okay, the Kentucky Derby, they're a little behind on things. They're the older people, so it takes them a little while. Like I'm surprised somebody isn't named Facebook.
Well, think about it. I mean, they've been training these horses for years. So like, what was big kind of back then? Whenever they started like all this training.
Well, it wasn't Facebook, but I don't know. I think we should, let's see, Rocket Can, Raising Cane. Oh, no, it's Raise Cane. That's pretty good. Lord Miles, Sun Thunder.
Sun Thunder. What, Thor?
Sun Thunder, Thor.
Bro.
Yeah. I do not. Okay, so don't bet on Practical Move. That's a bad one.
Practical Move.
Yes, it's too practical. Matt Forte up there, number one's okay. Tap It Trice is, I think I like Tap It Trice. Tap It Trice. I'm going to say Verifying is my guy.
Verifying is your number one.
Yeah. What you like?
I don't know. I'm really into that Sun Thunder.
Sun Thunder's awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
The 30-1 doesn't look very good, but again, we don't go by odds.
Raise Cane is making me hungry.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. Jace's Road. Mage. Confidence Game, Skinner, Disarm, and Hit Show. Continue our Reincarnate. I don't know. I don't like the lineup here.
It's not as good. Honestly,
that-
the also eligible. So these guys, if any of the other ones have scratched after entries are taken before the betting ends or begins, these are the next ranked horses that are eligible. Cyclone Mischief.
Oh, that's cool.
See, that would have been a good one.
That's a great one.
Mandarin Hero and King Russell. So like,
Yo, let's get King Russell in there. Come on, man.
Yeah, let's throw the bench in this lineup.
Yeah, we need the bench.
Yep. But I'm gonna go with Sun Thunder.
Sun Thunder, I
Because
love it.
it's just like it's a very Thor, like this horse must be like a muscular guy.
Uh-huh. All right, so you got Sun Thunder, and I got what did I have? Verifying. All right, well there you go. That's talking Derby there.
We'll do a little recap at the for next episode.
Just look at the fucking horse names, and that's it. But yeah, that's about all we got. We'll continue next week, like Joe said, with the recap of the Kentucky Derby, and continue monitoring the NBA playoffs. We might talk a little hockey. The Boston fucking Bruins got upset. That was huge. Tampa Bay Lightning's out also. So that I guess the Bruins broke the NHL record of regular season wins, and then lost in the first round.
Sympathies to the Boston fans
Oh,
everywhere.
you poor things.
Just have such a hard life.
You have such a hard life. All right, anything else?
That's it.
All right, love y'all.
Later.